It's been a week since Deadpool and Wolverine dropped, and one thing we can take out from this film, besides those fucking abs, is that Deadpool saved the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I am Marvel Jesus.
I mean, it's no secret that Marvel has been on decline for the past few years. Most commonly, people would point out at Avengers Endgame. It happened back in 2019 as Death of Marvel, saying Marvel died with Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Fast forward 5 years since Endgame, Marvel has been restored, all thanks to Deadpool. But before we give him all his flowers, let's look at the Marvel since Endgame, their weak points and their strong points, and let's decide, was it really that bad? Since Endgame there have been 33 different movies/series added to Marvel's timeline, but we are only gonna look at major ones, since does really anybody give a shit about Jessica Jones Season 3 or Hellstorm?
Nobody gives a shit about you!
Spider-Man Far From Home was first Marvel movie released since Endgame. It reflected on life of Peter Parker without his mentor and friend Tony Stark.
Everywhere I go, I see his face. And
Audience score and critic score were not very different. On Rotten Tomato, critics gave 91% and audience gave it 95%, which is one of the best rated Marvel movies in Rotten Tomato history. IBDMB scored it 7.4 out of 10 and most reliable source on the internet, Moist Meter, gave it 90%.
Moist meter. I'm giving Spider-Man Far From Home a nice 90%. I really like it.
So with all those high scores, what could have possibly gone wrong? Well, in January of 2021, Marvel started introducing characters and giving already existing ones new way of getting to know them. And the way they did it was through Disney Plus series. First three series were WandaVision, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki. In quick retrospective, all three shows gave us a look into the lives of characters after Endgame. WandaVision being this creation of Wanda's spells, Falcon and Winter Soldier going forward after Captain America Steve Rogers decided to become Joe Biden, and Loki going throughout his battles with TVA. All three shows scored very high scores. WandaVision was something new, something creative, and it being series really helped it. Falcon and Winter Soldier scored a little lower than WandaVision, but still 80%. And then Loki scored the highest out of the three. That all seems great, right? Well, how did it ruin Marvel then? Even though rated highly on the movie sites, personally speaking and probably for the majority of community, this movie had no business being in there at that time. I get what they were trying to do, honor Black Widow's legacy, but that should have been done straight after Endgame, not 2 years after we already moved on. It's a great story, don't get me wrong, but it's just in a wrong time, and CGI also didn't really help it, but more on that in a minute. Then we got animated series, What If and Shang-Chi Legend of Ten Rings, which were honestly surprisingly good. What If having its own fun plot and Shang-Chi exceeding all the expectations, even for me, being one of the best Marvel movies since Endgame. And then we got two stinkers back to back, Eternals and Hawkeye. When you would ask people what is the worst Marvel movie, they would probably say Eternals. Would I? No. Why? Because I couldn't even be bothered to watch it. Hawkeye on the other hand was such a boring show. Only purpose of it was to set up Kate as new Hawkeye for Young Avengers down the line. 2021 closed out big time with best Marvel movie since Endgame. Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not gonna say too much words about it. Movie was great. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire only made it better. And general public, Marvel fans or not, went to watch it.
No. It's what we do.
Moon Knight was peak Marvel, probably their best series, and it really gave us something new, something exciting, and then it was kind of forgotten.
I loved you the first moment that I saw you. I'll still love you when I see you again.
But after that, it all went downhill. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a flop. Miss Marvels, which nobody even gave a shit about in the first place, was a flop. Thor Love and Thunder was a flop. Iron Groot wasn't even supposed to be a banger in the first place, was a flop. She-Hulk, one of the worst pieces of television ever documented on this planet Earth. That shit was fucking miserable. Disney should have been paying you to watch it, not other way around. Then finally, after almost a year without a good Marvel movie, we got a Black Panther 2, honoring Chadwick Boseman and getting his character T'Challa peaceful funeral and death in MCU, giving Shuri a more important role and also introducing the new king.
My name is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special was made. Same as Ant-Man into Quantumania, which is Marvel's biggest flop in past 5 years. This movie was supposed to be it, start of the build to Avengers Kang Dynasty. And then Ants killed him. People were left disappointed and angry, even though credit scenes showed the path they were going to take, but really nobody gave a shit about it, and everybody pretty much turned on Marvel.
Welcome to the MCU, by the way. You're joining at a bit of a low point.
Can we just be done?
Ooh, we're just getting started.
No, with the whole multiverse thing. It's not great. It's just been miss after miss after miss. I think it's been steadily great since Endgame.
They kinda bounced back with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but quickly got back on disappointment rails of Marvel's hate train, with releases like Secret Invasion or I Am Groot Season 2. Thankfully, by the end of 2023, we got something to celebrate. Loki Season 2. It's one of the best things Marvel has ever produced in all those 16 years. From start to finish, every episode was a fucking banger. It literally had your eyes super glued to the screen waiting to see what happened next. Same thing couldn't be said for Marvels, but after that, 2024 gave us its first Marvel movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. But before we come to today, why was Marvel so bad in these past few years? Well, I have to say, they chose quantity over quality, forgot about long-term writing, which Marvel was famous for, and absolutely killed their VFX artist. In 2022 and 2023, there were multiple reports on Marvel's VFX artists suffering, getting overused and not getting paid nearly enough for their work. Marvel got called cheap and bullies. It got so bad that artists voted unanimously for the unionization, which brings us to today. Marvel has decided to go back on quality or quantity route, which I'll discuss in the next video. But for now, how did Deadpool save Marvel? Well, to be honest, it's quite easy. Deadpool is just character to do it. In the past two films which were made by Fox, Deadpool broke the fourth wall many times.
Oh, hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
And the same thing happened in this movie as well.
This is Logan. He's usually shirtless, but he's let himself go since the divorce.
Constant jokes about Marvel being on downfall and fucking over Fox.
Suck it, Fox.
Get fucked.
Film had a good comedy, which is really rare in most Hollywood films these days. Bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and just Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool is already a massive stepping stone to the right path. New cameos.
Powers, but I can assure you that...
I'm Marvel Jesus, you dog creature, and I want to...
You know, from behind, you look a little bit like Henry...
Oh my fuck!
The Cavalrine. I got this. Sabretooth. Your brother. Ready to die!
Don't make me regret it.
Thor crying.
Is that me? Is that Thor?
Why is Thor crying?
Saving the multiverse.
He has risen, baby girl.
Fuck!
And I don't want the world to see me.
And just overall being enjoyable film proves when Marvel want to try, they are best to do it. Numbers showing it as well.